All right, welcome back, guys. We've got the patch notes for Bannerlord 1.1.0. I'm trying to figure out their naming scheme here. If anyone understands that scheme, let me know. But these are updated. This is 16 April 2020, so that is today as of making this video. Got a few notes here. Today we are moving to the current beta branch to our main Steam branch. Below you will find the original changes included in the beta branch, our previous hotfix to the beta branch, as well as some additional changes that we've done since. This will make it so that the public and beta branches are equal. We will likely update the beta branch in the near future. So latest changes, they fixed a crash at the beginning of a battle, fixed a rare crash that occurred when AI tries to find the missile range of a melee weapon. Okay. In the single player, they fixed a crash that occurred when the player successfully defected a lord through barter. They fixed a crash that happens when the player character is walking on the campaign map after creating their own kingdom. They fixed a crash caused by villager parties that don't have healthy troops. Okay. Fixed a crash that occurs on the campaign map due to a problem with tournament renown gain. That's an interesting one. Fixed a rare crash with AI thinking behavior in need access to village commons quest. Okay. Fixed a rare crash that occurred due to log entries when a player battle ended. Alrighty. They fixed a crash that occurred when attacking caravans without a leader. Oh, okay. They fixed a crash that occurred when a clan leader died and the selected heir was a lord that had recently been released or escaped from captivity. It just boggles the mind, the amount of bugs that can come from code. I've done some coding. I'm no programmer by any means, but just the most asinine things you'd think, like, that have no relation to each other, and all of a sudden they're having a conflict and causes crazy bugs. So save and load. They have prevented the main storyline epilogue pop-up from reappearing every time the game was loaded. Okay. Fixed a save system backwards compatibility problem with saving primitive data types. Game now loads with skill levels correctly from save games created with versions prior to 1.1.0. Okay, cool. Yeah, I noticed there's some weird things going on. If you maybe have your original campaign from the day they dropped early access to when you have updates, hopefully they're not an issue anymore. Okay, for campaign map, they added a middle layer for nameplate visibility on the campaign map. We now have a stage where players can see both towns names and castle names. Okay, that's good. Battles and sieges. If a player's fortification is besieged, they are warned by a text that appears in the top center of their screen. Beforehand, it only happened when the assault was already underway. Now we have two warnings, one when the siege begins and one when the assault starts. Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't stand not... Because sometimes I'd be in a siege and you couldn't, like, zoom out or anything. Even if you were within, like, a close distance, you couldn't see anything around you. I kind of wish they'd let me zoom out when I'm in the middle of a siege. Clan and party. If a player's clan party is attacked, they are now informed with a center top notification. Cool. No problems there. I do want a little bit of tweaking to parties now, or when they get to it. I wish you had a little more control over your parties. It kind of just seems like you send them out, they do their thing, and you can ask them to follow you, but that's about it, and they just kind of go get killed. The recruiting frequency of lords who are in a good financial situation was increased. They will now try to fill their party limits more frequently. Awesome, no problems with that. I see a lot of lords walking around with very small parties, even though they should be walking around with 100 man, 150 man, whatever it is that they can carry. They fixed a bug that caused the consumption of more than one horse when upgrading a troop to a mounted soldier while having several types of horses in our inventory. Okay, good. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I'm sure it happened to me. I just wasn't paying attention. But I like the fact that they fixed that. I actually like the fact that they've added the horses being a requirement. It's just another element of things you have to pay attention to when you're upgrading your troops and something you have to think about. Do I want the horse archer or do I want the regular archer? Do I want to give him a war horse, or do I even have a war horse to give him to upgrade him? I do like that addition to Bannerlord versus Warband. So for kingdoms and diplomacy, executions now also cause negative relations with honorable lords if the executed is honorable too, and negative relations with friends of the executed. Additionally, we added further notifications for these consequences. Okay, I like that. Because I feel like people that are honorable probably wouldn't be executing people and would probably not like the fact that you are executing people. And especially if the other person's honorable, it makes sense that way. And then on top of that, I want to see the consequences of those actions, like they said they added, because before you could just start chopping off heads, and it never told you whether or not anyone cared, at least that I was aware of. I mean, you could probably find it in the menus and whatnot, and I'm sure it's there, but it didn't like pop up with a relation thing that I was aware of. So next we have mercenary minor factions no longer join kingdoms they are at war with. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Players can now fire mercenary factions they hired previously via dialogue. Players are asked to pay an appropriate wage per remaining influence. Normally, we convert 20% of their earned influence to wage per day. If the player rejects payment, they lose relations with the mercenary clan leader and the contract is canceled. Okay, a little more depth. I like that. Players' mercenary payment per influence was stable after they entered a kingdom. Now it is refreshed every 30 days. Alrighty, once again, just some more depth. In some cases, after a kingdom has been eliminated, the lords continue to spawn in a map location that is not reachable, near Rayo's castle. They now spawn at a random settlement gate of their culture. Makes way more sense. I like that. Okay, for economy and trade, we have caravans are now seen as more valuable targets by bandits and minor factions, which means that they will be attacked more. This will increase the number of battles that involve caravans. Previously, caravans were a nearly totally safe investment. Now bandits and minor faction lords sometimes attack caravans, even if they are a bit stronger. Okay. I mean, it sucks because we're talking 15,000 to start it, and it could be taken out day one and make no money. Whereas at least with a workshop, it's not really going anywhere. It's still there. Versus caravans, I mean, it has to be there for a little bit before it starts becoming profitable. So hopefully that does not become an issue. The pottery shop was very profitable. By creating 2 pieces of pottery, 80 dinars each from 1 clay, and doing this 4 times a day, now 1 clay produces 1 pottery, and pottery demand is halved to make its price more stable. Alright, sure. Other, fix the age of the player's brother. I don't know what his age was before. Maybe he's like 96 or something in the menu information. Further fixes for NPC weight and build parameters, as well as some NPC age fixes. Alright, that's fine. So previous beta hotfix, they reverted the weight and build changes of NPC's troops so that overweight characters are much less common. Yeah, I remember that. Kept the changes for special high tier units such as Falksman. Alright. Character skill levels will no longer be automatically increased when a save game from a version before 1.1.0 is loaded. Fixed a crash that occurred after taking prisoners in hideouts. Fixed a crash that occurred when a character maxed out their attributes and focus points. Fixed the black particles bug. Fixed some performance spikes that happened during missions. Fixed a battle crash that was caused by a character having no culture. Alright, single player. Initial beta changelog. Just make sure this isn't... I see this is all stuff. This is just all the stuff that was already there. So we're not going to go any further into this because I believe we've already done all this. Let me just double check that. Yeah, I believe all of these are just recapping what was already there. Perhaps that's what we're going to see from now on, and we'll see that with the previous beta hotfix, and it'll just go into everything we've talked about previously. So we won't go further into that. You all can watch my previous videos if you're curious about what's in there. But like I said, that's as of 16 April 2020. And I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Goodbye.